What's up, everyone? So you want to know how cutting people off will save your life? This is the video for you. If there was an award for the amount of people that I had to cut out of my life to be where I'm at today, I think I would have gotten that award. Yeah, cutting off people is one of the toughest things, but it's also the most life-saving thing that you could do for yourself. And it's the one piece in your life that's going to allow you to grow. There are so many factors that we need to come into terms with and actually believe, like, oh my God, like sometimes I am going to need to cut off certain people because they are not serving my highest good and I am being held back. Or it's like, oh my God, I need to cut off this person just because, like, one, they're causing me to overthink. Two, my anxiety is over the roof. Three, they're making me feel bad about myself, but like I'm just so attached to them. Like I've known them for such a long time. I just feel like it's wrong to cut them off. So I choose not to, even though they do so bad for my mental health. You need to cut them off. And like always, this is not a how-to guide on how to cut people off. This is my perception and what I do and how my mind works when it comes to cutting people off, in hopes that maybe it will help you get a realization and a new perception and kind of, again, serve you in the highest purpose that it could, and any advice that I could give you. So one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is this little analogy. So I'm a fitness girly, so it's going to be like a fitness type of analogy. But alcohol, okay, is an empty calorie. It's not a fat, it's not a protein, it's not a carb. It's an empty calorie. And it's an empty calorie that makes you feel bad at the end of the day. Sure, in the moment makes you feel good, but at the end of the day, when you're done and you realize alcohol's true colors, the next day you feel terrible. It's the same thing when it comes to your mental and your brain. Your brain has so much room before it starts getting filled up with irrelevant, empty calories. And these irrelevant empty calories are drama, people's, and the situations that they put you in. And so let's say you're done hanging out with your friend. You've known this friend for 5 years, but the one thing that this friend does is every time when you guys hang out, they make you insecure. They make you hate yourself. They make you feel below them. But when you guys hang out, when you do activities, it's so fun. Woo, wow, we're having fun. But then the next day, or when you come home and you're done hanging out with them, all of the bad things that they did to you starts to affect you, just like alcohol. You have a high with them and now you have a low. And it's like, wow, I don't like how they make me feel like this. But you know what? I'm gonna go hit them up because we have such a good time together. But every single time they make you feel bad about yourself, what? Do you guys get what I'm saying? You going back to the same person who hurts you constantly because you're having a good time. Now, when it comes to us getting involved in endings or dramas or these big dramatic situations that happen between us and people, we allow it to consume us. And what does that do? It hurts our mental. And now we can't focus because we have allowed this empty calorie to be put in our head and to be on top of everything that's important to us. What's important to us is in the front of our head. But now this big dramatic situation, all of a sudden, we're making it so important that everything that is supposed to be important to us is pushed in the back of our head. And now we have this big situation. And this analogy applies to friendships. This analogy applies to trauma bonds that you may have with friendships or you may have with your family. This applies to close family, extended family. This applies to relationships, healthy and not healthy ones. When the relationship is ending, or when you have a trauma bond with your significant other that you no longer communicate to. All of this applies, and I'm going to go into depth in every single category and how I perceive things because I have been in every single situation like that in my life. And I'm at the point in my life where I know how to handle this, and I will cut you off the second that you destroy my mental. The second where my mental does not feel good, you're out. Because I am not here on this earth. You are not here on this earth to be stressing about anyone but yourself. Whatever situation people put you in, cut them out and take yourself out of this situation. and remove yourself. Because why are you involving yourself with toxic people who serve you no good? You have so much potential in your life. You have so much goals that you want to accomplish. But because of these people, you are not getting to your fullest potential. Because of these people, they push you down. Because of these people, they are all you think about. I have been surrounded by so many people in my life who their whole life revolves around thinking about others and the stuff that others did to them and the drama that goes on in people's lives. I have been around that because people around me are like this, and I've grown up watching it and seeing like, I don't ever want to be like this. I have seen people talk about the same damn situation for 12 years, the same story, the same drama. What do you think that does to your mental? That ruins your mental. And I'm here to make sure that this is not you. I've seen it and I hate seeing it and I hate being put in these situations. I want to make sure that you guys come out of this video with the proper tools and guidance from my life that you can use for yourself. Now, when it comes to cutting people off, there's a spectrum. There is a big spectrum. You can distance yourself and be high and by. You can only hang out in groups, or you're completely cut off. You are never going to hear from me ever again. So let's talk about the different areas of life when it comes to friendships, family, and romantic relationship. I've cut off people from every aspect of the relationship cycle. The first part I'm going to get into, since everyone loves this topic, is relationships. And then we'll talk about friendships, and then we'll talk about family. So when it comes to relationships and how you can finally move on and cut off an ex for good and no longer think about them, no longer speak to them, no longer having a trauma bond, the one thing I need you guys to put in your head is that no contact does not exist. No contact was a definition made by society for you to hope and pray that they're going to come back, and for you to stay stuck in the idea that they're going to come back. It prevents us from being able to cut this person off because we're still hoping and wishing that they will come back, and we're still being like, oh, are they going to come back? Are they going to come back? When are they going to text me? I miss them. Da, 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 da. When it comes to a breakup, you need to completely cut them off and heal from it and move on and grieve. Don't suppress your emotions. Grieve. Move on. Let your emotions express themselves. The more you express your emotions, the more you're over them, okay? And you could be crying every single day. You can be screaming every single day. Just let your emotions out. Vent to whoever you need to vent. Let it out. And then the situation one day is going to disappear. The breakup and that person and the value that they used to hold in your life is going to mean nothing anymore. It just comes to a point that you're content that you cut them out of your life and that they're not in your life. And it's a very hard place to get to because you've given your all to someone, and now that person's out of your life, and you just have to be content with it and move on. My idea that I want to put you in is after 30 days, if there is no communication in between you and that person, it is done. It is time to cut them out of your life. That is your sign that they are not coming back. That is your sign that they do not care. That is your sign that they do not want to fix the problem. And that is your sign to start growing on yourself and to start focusing on yourself and cut them out of your life. Because you should not have to sit and wait and hope that this person will have their mind change and like they'll change for you and they'll come back. You need to have the ability to understand that if they do ever return and they do want to come back into your life, that you have become a person that they don't recognize. The purpose of cutting a relationship off is that so 1, you can heal, 2, you can go from it, and 3, you can become a person to attract what is better for you. If you keep going back to the same person, oh my God, I missed them, I'm gonna break no contact, da 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 da, and text them, like, bro, they're the ones that broke up with you. They're the ones that have mentally checked out of the relationship before you did. And now you're here constantly texting them, please take me back. I want you back. I want you back. That's humiliating. Please, I miss you. That's humiliating. Get off your knees and go move on, cut them out, and heal on yourself. The hard truth I need to keep telling yourself is that you guys are not going to get back together. Now, let's say maybe 3 months from now, they end up coming back. That is not a problem for you to deal with in the present moment. In the present moment, your job is to cut them out and move on from them and to detach from the outcome of when are they going to text me? When are they coming back? Is there going to be a second chance? That is just hope that is going to block you from growing in your life. And that's kind of like how I said in the beginning of the video about the analogy of putting empty calories in your head. You're not putting an empty situation in your head by creating a fake scenario of them coming back, or like, oh my God, what if they come back in 3 months? What am I going to say to them? Don't worry about it. Focus on your healing. And when they do come back, you're going to know your answer, but never ever have hope that they're going to come back. Just move on with your life. And it's very hard. It is so hard to cut someone that you liked, or that you loved, but you're going to have to do it. And the reason why I'm so like passionate about this is because there was a time in my life, oh my God, I begged to have someone in my life for 3 months. For 3 months, I begged. I begged. I texted them every single week, a paragraph. This was when I was 17, guys. I'm 22. I will never beg for anyone ever to stay in my life, ever. I did that years ago. We're not that same person anymore. So I want you guys to put that in your head, that when something ends between you and your significant other, your ex, whatever, it is over. It is 100% over. I guess that's like the biggest advice I can give when it comes to cutting off that relationship tie is heal yourself, reflect on that relationship. Do not wish that they're going to come back. Do not have hope that they're going to text you. Do not. Remove that attachment and detach from the outcome of them returning, from the outcome of them texting you, from any outcome, okay? And now when it comes to relationships that have trauma bonds, those ones are very hard to move forward with, just because like with trauma, like you guys are connecting on a different level. Like there's so many arguments and so many like mixed emotions of I hate you, I love you, I want you, I don't want you. And now when it comes to a trauma bond, let's say you no longer talk to your ex that was toxic and it's been years. But if you still feel the need to text that person when you're going through a place of mental distress and you need someone to desperately talk to, and you believe because they're the only person that will understand you, even though they've caused so much mental distress and so much pain in your life, but you believe because they've been in your life for so long and you guys have been through the up and downs, they're the ones that automatically know you. So let's say you haven't communicated with them in 3 years and all of a sudden you go back to them after something very tough is happening in your life. That is a trauma bond, and you have not personally cut off that person in your life. And that's my belief, 100%. Like if I'm dating someone and, then all of a sudden I find out that, they haven't talked to their ex in like 4 years, and then all of a sudden they're going through a very bad situation. We break up or whatever. They're going through a very bad situation, and then they go to their ex. To me, I personally believe that they are not over it. They have not detached from their ex, and they still believe that their ex is someone that they can come to because their ex is the person that they know that knows them the best. That is a trauma bond. And when it comes to a trauma bond, when you feel like you need to reach out to someone who has caused so much pain to you, you have to have that mental strength to be like, no, it's just a trauma bond. It's just awareness. They don't know me anymore. I haven't communicated to them in 3 years. They do not know me, and they have no place in my life to know what's going on in my life. And I need you guys to understand that. Any ex that you feel like you want to go back to just because you're dealing with something, you guys need to have the power and awareness to understand that it is just a trauma bond, and your ex can no longer know what's going on in your life anymore. It's been years. Why are you updating them about your life in some situation? They're not your comfort person. Another thing too, when it comes to relationships, is just any form of disrespect. Cut them off. Why are you being disrespected? I don't care. If someone's disrespecting you in a relationship, cut them off. Any type of relationship that is causing you anxiety or mental distress, they're not the person for you. I don't care if in your head you think that they are the one. They're not. Someone who causes so much anxiety and mental distress to you, and now your whole life revolves around them and their actions, like, they're not. Cut them off. Cut them off. They are on the spectrum of they're completely out of your life. Unfollow them on Instagram. Like, do not put yourself in that situation. Cut them off. Stop worrying about what they're doing in their life. Cut them off. Like, if they ghost you, cut them off. Cut them off. Like, that's all I'm going to say is detach and cut them off and be content with yourself. Because you're on this life to serve yourself. You're not on this earth to be serving other people and to be worried about whether or not someone's going to come back. Why did someone decide to do something to you? Just cut it off. Okay, now let's talk about friendships. I've been involved in friendships where I did have a trauma bond attached to them. I've been involved in friendships where I've never been respected. I have been involved in friendships that have placed drama in my life and has caused distress in my life. And with all those friendships, I've learned how to cut people off and to not think about the good memories, but think about, are they really serving a healthy purpose in my life? And if not, you need to be cut off. I don't care about the good memories. I don't care. If I'm having more mental distress and my mental health is not good in some way because of you, I have to cut you off. And it took me a really, really long time to get to that point on cutting people off because I would just feel very bad. Like, no, like they're just so nice, like, or we just known each other for such a long time, like it happens. No, I don't care how long that you've known someone. If someone is consistently toxic to you and it's always drama, 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 cut them off. Your life is so much better without them. I don't care. Like, I had to do this to someone before, and we had a really, really good friendship during my childhood. But it just came to a point where it was drama, 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 and then a big, big drama happened where I didn't talk to them for a year, but because I had a trauma bond, whenever I went through something, I would go back to them because I'm like, oh, they're the only ones that know me so well. They're the only ones that are going to help me. But at the end of the day, when you go back to someone that you have a trauma bond with, it's such a very uncomfortable feeling. And I need you guys to understand that it's such a very uncomfortable feeling because you have still this resentment towards them. You still don't trust them. It's like, like I feel guilty for even telling you this. I feel guilty for bringing you back into my life and telling you my personal life. And I feel so disrespectful towards myself for allowing you to come back into my life. That's the mindset I need you guys to have, because it's just like, how many times are you going to go back to someone you have a trauma bond with and make yourself feel guilty about it? How many times you're going to do that? It's not worth your time. It is not. Like, oh my God, like, guys, you guys can tell that, like, I'm just so unbothered by people that I will cut you off. Like, I just don't care. I'm unbothered. I will cut you off. That's the mindset I need you guys to have. Be unbothered, cut them off. And the more you cut people off, the more that you are able to be selective on who your friends are and find the people who are right for you. Be selective with your friends. Do not just bring anyone in your life. Bringing anyone in your life will cause you mental distress. Be selective and know who your true friends are. If you have friendships that are not meeting your friendship standards, cut them off. If you have friendships that make you feel unincluded, cut them off. A friend that's constantly causing bad moments in your life is not a friend. A friend that's constantly making you insecure, making you feel bad about yourself, who's always competing with you, who's envious about your success, is not a friend. And you're going to have to cut off these type of people, because why you're surrounding yourself with people who are envying you? Oh my God, like, my friends now are not like that. My friends now, I only surround myself with people who have genuinely want to support me, and I can genuinely support them, and we collaborate and we talk about life and we want to see each other grow. Those are the only friends I now surround myself with. But I used to surround myself with toxic friends who always envied me and who didn't want to support me, or who acted like they supported me, but deep down they never did. And you just need to cut yourself out of that, because your friends need to be your supporters. Your friends are the people that help motivate you and help elevate you in your life. And it's like the analogy that I said in the beginning. Why are you feeding yourself empty calories? Empty calories are these low friends that you have. Empty calories are these people who don't have your highest intentions towards you. Those are low, empty calorie friends. And these friends are not meant to be in your life, and you have to cut them out. Even though if you guys have been through so much, it's like, oh my God, but they know me so well, cut them out. There's friendships too where you need to cut people off who only use you. Oh my God. A lot of people will only use you for what you have to give them, and they don't genuinely care. Another thing too, from my perspective, is I don't do groups. I personally believe groups have just so much drama. And when it comes to groups, there's always shit talking. Everyone talks about every single person in that group. It's not a genuine friendship. And when I used to be placed into groups, I used to get a lot of anxiety, just like group settings, like a very large group of people, friendships, you know, I just get a lot of anxiety because, like, I'll just be sitting and everyone's talking shit about this one person who's not hanging out with them. And it's like, oh my God, What if I wasn't hanging out with you guys today? Do you guys talk shit about me? So it's like now you guys are just involving me in drama. Now you guys are just causing anxiety in my life. So it's like, why do I need to place myself in these type of friendships? That's also a mindset I need you guys to have. Is like, if you're in a group of friends who are constantly talking shit about each other, they're also talking shit about you, and you need to cut them off. They're no longer your friends. You don't need to communicate with these people, because why are you putting that kind of mental distress on you? Or like even friends who who bring out the worst version of you. Cut them off. Cut them off. Now let's talk about family. Family, you're forced to be family. But there's a lot of cousins, there's a lot of aunts that I've cut off just because I just don't like their mindset. I don't like your mindset at all. I don't like what revolves around your life. I don't like the disrespect that you give me, so I'm going to have to cut you off. That's all I can say about family. Now, the one thing I want you guys to get out of this video is I don't care how strong a relationship or how long that someone has been in your life or how much that someone means to you. If they cause you mental distress and they do not support your highest good, cut them off. Even these people who always have dramas surrounding their life, oh my god, like I don't want to talk to you and all you have is drama. You're like, get out of my life. Cut them off, guys. Cut them off. It's not worth it. You guys feed yourself with empty calorie people. You really do. And like, look what it's doing to you. Look at you. Like your mental is not good because you're surrounding yourself in an environment where there's just so much drama. Cut them off. That's like what I can give out of this video. Like, the tone I have in this video is a very unbothered tone. Like if you guys have watched my videos, like especially the one I posted last week about insecurities, you can see how my passion is in different areas of life. My passion when it comes to cutting people off is just being super unbothered. Though it sucks, though it's hard, you're going to have to grieve them. Yeah, when you cut people off, you're going to have a grieving moment, but it gets better, it gets easier, and you start to realize how much growth that you're going to have after cutting people off and certain individuals. And the last thing I forgot to mention is when it comes to cutting people off is that you guys get to pick and choose who you want to unfollow off of your social medias. But the one thing I want you guys to realize is that unfollow people who do not serve your highest good. If you have friends that just caused so much drama in your life, unfollow them. Any type of relationship that you're into, I don't care if you were talking to this person for 1 month, I don't care if nothing romantic happened between you two, I don't care if it was a situationship, I don't care if this is someone that you've been with for who knows how long, unfollow them off of their social medias. If you want to block them. But this is the part of cutting people off. When you cut people off, that means that they no longer serve in your life. That also means that they are not allowed to know what goes on in your life. That's the point of cutting people off when it comes to friends, family, and relationships. When you cut people off permanently, it means that they are no longer allowed to know what happens in your life. And it just means like, you know what, you're done, you're out of my life, and you don't deserve to know anything that's going on with me. And that is the power of cutting people off. Cutting off people saves your life and allows you to move further in life and allows you to stop feeding yourself with empty calorie people.